In this section, we will review the current 150% EBOM and the change to introduce the new Smart Control Unit. We will then look at the 150% EBOM in 3D and then show by picking feature options we can reduce this down to 100%. We'll also see how design engineering have structured the EBOM and how this does not suit the way we would like to perform the assembly process, and hence the need for an MBOM. Finally, we will see where the components in the EBOM are used. This includes other EBOMs, MBOMs and bills of processes. We are currently logged into Team Center as a user who is a designer in engineering. By selecting on a tile on this user's home screen, we can access the coffee machine EBOM. The structure can be expanded to see the details of all the components within the assembly. We can now look at the active change against the coffee machine that was created to introduce the Smart Control Unit. This shows us the details of the product updates that have been performed, including the revising of the electrical system, the introduction of a new power supply that will allow us to power this new Smart Control Unit, the unit itself and the connecting cables. When we look at the coffee machine in 3D, we can see that the graphics look strange on some of the components. This is because there are multiple components in the same place, because what we are looking at is the 150% BOM. We can select on components and see their locations in the structure. If we take a closer look at one of the drip trays, we can also see the options needed to be picked in order for it to be used. The other drip tray in the structure has different options for it to be applied. We can now look at all the features available to us on the coffee machine. Rules are in place to dictate what is allowed to be picked by the user. For example, in the output section there are multiple nozzle types available. However, if the UK market is picked, these options cannot be picked and only one is available. The user would typically pick all the options and then apply it to the EBOM. In this case, I'm going to use the predefined options and apply this to the structure. When we now look at the coffee machine in 3D, we can see that it is now a 100% machine based on the configuration chosen. Taking a closer look now at the electronic display, we can see where it is used. In this case, it is used in multiple EBOMs, an MBOM and a bill of process. This is important because it shows us the impact that any potential updates to the display unit will have on other structures. Finally, if we look at the way the EBOM has been structured by design, we can see that it does not suit the way we would like to perform the assembly. For example, you wouldn't assemble the electrical system in one go. You would split it down and assemble it in stages.